Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious.
Here we go. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Sunday to everybody. Happy Memorial Weekend. My name is Intoxicated DJ. This is my brother Ahmad Jermaine, and we are here with another episode of Elevated Wisdom, where we have healthy conversations in a healthy manner where we express our perspectives on this experience we call human life. Today we're continue to covering, because the last episode we got cut off due to technical issues because of weather. Power went out and the whole thing. We were speaking on the latest book, The Journey Inward, and more. I keep saying book, but it's a journal. And I want to clarify this, right? This is a journal for self-exploration. It's a wonderful tool to help anyone get the assistance they need to create the human experience they truly desire, right? And so we're going to go more into this. And we have the author here himself, Ahmad Jermaine. And so we're going to go directly into more in depth into this amazing journal tool. And we're actually going to put it into use today and to actual human life experiences, where I'm going to use my current I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna put it into use for me today. But before I go any further, again, this is Ahmad Jermaine, and I will give him his opportunity to introduce himself. So please, sir, say hello to the people.
Afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Nice to see you again, and I hope you are embodying the three L's: leading with love, taking time to laugh, and always learning.
Mm,
Always learning. So,
I love that.
yeah,
I love that.
it's a wonderful, wonderful 4-day holiday, right? For most of us, Memorial Weekend.
Yeah. No, I guess
So I hope everybody's connecting with the people they want to connect with and spending time with those that they choose to spend time with.
mm, especially themselves, right?
Always
Exactly. I'm very excited to
got to
be
make
here.
time for the number one priority, which will
Amen.
always be you.
That is it. And this is, and it goes directly into why this journal is so important. We need to help ourselves primarily to be able to be any sort of help to the world around us, wherever we go. So we continuously focus on ourselves. We naturally, wherever we find ourselves in, whatever environment, we're going to bring that healing, nurturing experience or energy to that environment. And so for me, in my experience, have realized how my perception, my thoughts, my emotions, and my actions truly create a desired experience, even if that's the one that I don't want to have. Because of the thoughts, the emotions, and my actions, I'll create the situation that I don't want or want. And this is gonna really help me understand the difference. Um, is there anything that you would like to touch in before we get started with this, Ahmad?
Um, the biggest thing with anything where you're trying to gain greater self-awareness is you have to be honest with yourself, right?
Hmm.
You have to be in a spot where you can see things for what they are and then understand what it is you're trying to gain for yourself. What type of clarity are you emotionally all over the place? Are you physically all over the place?
Hmm.
So the book itself is going to allow you to kind of sit down and ask yourself some questions that maybe you have asked before, maybe you haven't. And to get the best out of it, you're going to have to really be honest with yourself. And just know there's no wrong or right answers. There's no good or bad answers. And depending on the answer you get, it doesn't make you a bad person.
Hmm.
Okay, so really, really understand that aspect of it. There are obviously dark sides of all of us that we don't like people to see, or even ourselves at times. But those are the sides that we need to bring out and incorporate in the lives that we're actually living, because it's all aspects of us. So
Hmm.
we don't want to leave any part of us behind. So,
Okay.
but I
Now,
mean that's pretty much it. Honesty is the key with this, and making time to do it, right? Whether it's 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes, or even an hour if you have it. Just dedicating that time and just being honest.
mm, for those of us who find it challenging to set amount of time to the side, can it be broken down? Like, okay, let's say I want to do an hour a day, but I can't pull a full hour away because I have work, kids, you fill in the blank. Um, could I still do it in intervals of 5 minutes throughout the day to reach an hour? Would that be a good suggestion?
Again, with any self-awareness or self-discovery aspect, you got to feel your way through it. Like you'll know what's going to work for you or not, right?
Mm,
But I definitely would start off. I mean, I don't know if 5 minutes would be enough, but 10 to 15 for sure
okay.
to get it started. And again, come back to it when we get more comfortable, when we're excited about finding things out, we
Mm,
start to prioritize more of that time for ourselves if we're getting something out of it.
I see what
So
you're
just
saying.
start with, I would say, 15 minutes.
Okay.
Um,
Uh,
and there's quotes in there. So, you don't have to dive right in. And again, like I said last episode, it's a non-linear book. So you could start at any aspect of it.
mhm.
It's what feels right for you and what you're getting fulfillment out of. So,
Okay. Now, I have my very own copy here, Chad, and so I definitely want to go through it personally, not only for myself, right, with the author himself, but also as an example of possible questions, situations, experiences that we could encounter where anybody that may be viewing the podcast and going through similar issues, they can see how to maneuver through these things. So I'm very excited to get into it and really put some real life situations into action, right? And so, since you have been mentioning it's such a non-linear book, we don't have to start at the beginning, right? So I first open it, and the first page I see is the deity is within you, not in books. Truth is lived, not taught. Herman Hesse. Um, Immediately for me, I I can connect with this because of my opinion is we have the information, everything we need is within us, right? And when we go through external validation or looking for external truths, it really darkens or grays the truth of myself. And so for this, although this tool here is important, the real truth is within me, and this tool is allowing me to see that fact that the truth is, and the information is, the ability is already inside of me. So I really do connect that, and I enjoyed the way you explained it um, in the previous podcast. So from here, there's definitely a few more quotes as you're going through the table of contents. Here we have intro, right? What are you searching for? Part one: perspective on life, discovering you, strength and weaknesses, personality and interest, dreams and goals. Part two: your well-being, emotional, mental, spiritual, self-care. Okay, so automatically from here, I can see that I can right now uh, could use some assistance with goals and self care, relationships with self, with others, reconnecting with your inner child. That's very important. Part four: creativity and expression, bucket list. Part five: mindfulness and gratitude, tools and techniques for meditation, journaling, and affirmations. So, out of all that, I do like the fact that I don't have to go through part one immediately or go, I can go to any part, which again, for me, the dreams and goals and the self care. So I've come to realize that I am having health issues and I have difficulties with the medication, basically the way of living that it requires to reheal, to allow my body to bring my levels down to a normal, healthy levels, right? And so, with that, Ahmad, I guess we can go into self care, right? So we're gonna go to part two, self care. Let me find. All right, we hear self care, and immediately self care. We have a quote here by Zen, and it's not about approving or liking, but it's just being able to allow the world to be the way it is without resenting, hating, or judging it. I like that. I like that a lot. Trying to allow to let the world be without judgment, resenting, or hating can be difficult at times for me. I want to, that there's so many facts to prove, right? That my or validate certain perspectives. That if that's the case, I will always gonna be. I will always find a reason to be angry and stay angry, which makes no sense because nobody wants to live in there for real. So the beginning it says here, what does self care look like to me? Oof. What does self care look like to me? One, being honest with
And
myself.
this is the point. It's to get you to think before you put pen to paper, right?
Mm,
But again, even what you put on the paper doesn't have to be the initial answer. It just has to be what you're thinking and feeling.
okay.
You know, a lot of people think those questions need to be answered in totality, where
Mm,
it doesn't. It's just to get you to think. And as you continue on the journey, I promise you, everything you thought you answered, you're gonna have to go back because you get more clarity as you're going through it.
Mm. And so, okay, so would you suggest to just write notes of how I
Yeah,
would
just
answer it?
what comes to mind right now. Like you could do bullet points, you could do shorthand, whatever is gonna make sense to you and allows you to get the ball rolling, right?
Okay. You know, I was gonna. Is there? Do you have a suggestion whether to do it in pencil so you can case go back and erase it or make
I
changes?
myself, I prefer pencil because I think pens they're fast when you write, and I do cursive, so
Hmm.
I prefer pencil because it slows it down a little bit, and then also I can't erase,
Yeah.
and that's something that I would do personally. But
Okay.
again, this whole experience is going to be on you, what you make it, what time you have, and what you choose to prioritize. So
Gotcha. Well, I have a bunch of pens and pencils all around me, so I think I'm gonna go ahead with a pencil for that specific reason. And instead of a regular pencil, I'm gonna go with the mechanical pencil right in between.
yeah, that's what I'll use, mechanical. Yeah.
Mechanical pencil. So, okay, what does self care look like to me? I think I'm gonna go ahead and answer that here now with some bullet points to kind of go over. Right, one self care looks like hygiene first and foremost. That is the thing that pops into my head. Hygiene. My hygiene is the first thing to be affected when it comes to mental instability. Mental and emotional instability, the first thing to be affected is my personal hygiene. The last thing I want is to get up and go shower to go out, right? So that gets the first thing. So for me, I'm gonna write hygiene as one. Another bullet point is gonna be self care. Looks like meditation. Mango Bear, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Hygiene,
Sleep.
sleep. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Definite sleep. Because I do have challenges with sleep. Um, nutrition, the proper
Hmm.
nutrition, um, healthy human connection.
I was gonna say that, yeah. The company you keep is
Mm-hmm.
gonna be a bit the environment you're in.
Um, so we got hygiene, sleep, nutrition, human connection, and I would
Exercise.
natural connection. So actual connection to nature, being outside, taking in the sun, not being afraid to be out in the rain, things in that nature. And nature. Also, for me, there's a level of care that comes self care that comes from not isolation, but contemplation within solitude. Let's put it that way. Let's go with solitude, right? Being okay, not having to be around people, feeling content, feeling loved, feeling adequate, feeling comfortable alone is as important to me as having a healthy relationship with other people. So, healthy solitude.
I would add for me, I would put an exercise in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
Uh,
again,
Give me an
for
example. What do you mean?
everybody watching,
I would say, give me an example. What do
self
you mean?
care.
Uh,
Um, Taking care of myself, I still need to be mentally and physically okay, and that could just be walks,
I see. Okay,
stretching.
okay.
Um,
Write like a self
you
note
know, it
in there.
doesn't necessarily have to be like weight training, but yoga, stretching, anything that I would incorporate to
Hmm.
make me feel better about how I'm living, about myself, about the world, right? That's what I would be looking at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Let me see. So as you can see, I'm actually writing my responses here. So I'm going to write my note. So here I'm going to write, oh shoot, ensuring I take, I don't want to say take care of, ensuring I work on mental, emotional, and physical movement. And what I mean by movement for
Hmm.
me is the dedication of continuing doing something. Uh, Working on movement mentally, right, is having a healthy conversation with another person, with a friend. Hey, I'm feeling X. I'm thinking X of this situation, and I feel like I'm overthinking it. What do you think? Give me your feedback. Or, hey, I
Yeah.
need assistance with X. I'm having challenging times with X, and I need X. That to me is mental movement, being able to fight through the blockages, mental, emotional, and physical blockages that gets me from achieving certain things or just moving forward in life. And that's what I mean by movement. Um, okay, so I have
I would
that.
also say, for some people, I would say myself, uh, reading a book would be, because that's helping me, like you just said, with mentally working on things,
Mm,
reading that book. Because now my attention is on something I prioritize to do, and it just feeds into other aspects, habits, which will eventually be routines, right? And that's what
mm-hmm,
we're shooting for, is to have a healthy routine that we're confident and comfortable with, right?
mm-hmm. Okay, no, I like that. So in here in the self-care looks like what self-care looks like for me, writing in examples of actions that demonstrate self-care. For you, like you said, it's you adding in there read X amount of time daily, and that is assisting you in your self-care. Okay, I like that. So I'm gonna put in here definitely moving physically.
Because
So
what's great about a journal is
uh-huh.
we do a lot of these things, but we don't give ourselves credit because we think it has to look a particular way, right?
Mm,
But it doesn't. We walk everywhere, you stay busy, you are active. The problem is the intention and awareness isn't on what it is. But if we just switch a little bit, shift our mindset and perspective or perception on certain things,
mm,
then you'll see that you do not only have the ability to continue the self-care routine, but you're actually doing aspects of it. Now you
mm,
can, so now you're not like, oh, I can't do this. Now you're already seeing that you're doing it. Now it's refining it, right? It's getting it, simplifying it, and maybe in an order that you would prefer. But
mm,
that's the key, is showing yourself already you are doing a lot of these things. We discredit ourselves so often because it doesn't look a particular way or we don't feel a particular way.
mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean you're not taking the action.
No, that makes definitely total sense for me. So for the first one I put in here, take minimum steps of 1K daily. I've noticed for me that if I reach 1K steps, it's more likely for me to do way more closer to what my 10K daily steps than it is if I don't take at least minimum. If I am in the type of pain, physical and nerve pain, that I don't get out of bed to shower or do much, the last thing in my head is like, yeah, let me go out for a hike in nature, right? That's yeah. There's no so I noticed that if I manage to push through the pain, push through the mental blockages, push through the emotional turbulence, and find a way to take 1K steps, that's going to lead me to at minimum go outside to let the dog out and do this and so with that minimum it opens the door for way more possibilities, right? And so raising the that minimum to 1K will help me out. Also, I'm gonna put in here that with that, sticking to a more um, I don't want to say strict diet, but that's truly what it is, right? I cannot input as much sugars into my body as I used to. I definitely need to, because of diabetes, I need to regulate what I'm putting in my system. And so my diet is now becoming very important to hear. And I need to write that into a SMART goal or a bullet point as a, like you were saying, list. So mindful eating, I'm going to put that as mindful eating. Practice mindful eating. And I'm going to put that 3 times a day because I now will have to take medication. I have to eat X amount of foods throughout the day. So if I at least eat 3 full, healthy, mindful eating meals, I know I will get my macro intakes. I can monitor the type of sugars that are going into my system, and with the medication that will end the movement, physical movement, will bring my levels down in theory. So that is why I'm writing this here,
But
my phone.
you see this?
Mm-hmm.
You're 3 minutes in, maybe five, but you're already, where's your attention going?
To so
Where attention
finding that
goes,
solution.
energy flows, right?
Mm-hmm.
We start to prioritize. We start to have a direction we want to go. And
Mm.
that's the point of all of this is just self-reflection, right? That's all the journal is to reflect our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, and how we can be better.
Mm.
And already you're seeing that, and it's just been 5 minutes, and now
Yeah.
you can now sit there and be like, wow. And you can also give yourself credit in areas you probably wouldn't.
Mm. Uh, Immediately, right? Just I
Yeah,
did not realize we've been on 30 minutes. I did not realize that we've been doing this for a good 10, 10, 15 minutes already, like you said. And as I'm writing it, I'm, like you said, I'm putting that energy, and that energy is pumping me up. It's helping me see that it is possible. And it wasn't like before me sitting down and doing this with you now I was felt hopeless or no. I've already had placed this energy into changing my lifestyle, accepting the medication, all these things, right? I was still struggling mentally with the fact that okay, I'm doing the physical things and I don't feel great about it, but I'm doing the physical motions to get that lifestyle, right? And so the difference here with this practice, it's more up here. Now it's less time for me to think about the negative things, negative aspects, the things that keep me away from achieving my goals, because all of my attention and energy is to answering these questions and writing down the solutions to the problems. So I see exactly what you mean as far as placing energy into this journal is going to help me and anybody that needs the help to put that energy directly into fixing whatever issues you have within yourself about yourself. This is not about how am I going to get my baby mama to love me better. This is not going to be about how I get my best friend to do what I want them to do. This is not, any of that stuff. This is truly to focus on me, what I need, what I want, what is the difference, and how to get there. And the fact that there is plenty more to go is exciting. I'm not gonna lie, a little scary because it feels like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work to face the truths. I'm the best
But the
liar.
question now is this.
Uh huh.
It will be work and it will be a lot of work, but are you not worth it?
Yes, and I want to. I'm able to say yes now. There was a hard time in my life where I truly believed that I was not worth it. I had convinced myself that my mistakes, my previous choices in life, made me unworthy of human experience. And it took a long time for me to forgive myself, first and foremost, but to understand that that isn't the totality of who I am. That it has brought me to a level of acceptance that that was a portion of my life, but it was a lesson on how to become this better man that I am today. Without those mistakes, without those experiences, the information that I have now about myself, I don't think would be as rich. I don't think I would appreciate it as much. And so I'm able to look back at those experiences now and say, okay, I can respect it. But it took some work to get there. And I feel like for me, if I hadn't done the previous work, doing this work here is gonna get me to that level of acceptance. And so that is
I would agree, man. And that's all it is. It's becoming aware and then accepting what is, living in the reality of the now,
mm,
not the reality of the past or the future, because they no longer exist, right?
yeah.
It's only now. And the reason the journal is good because you're writing things down and focusing and you're not in your head. Because your
Mm,
head is what the mind is what's making you suffer.
mm,
You worry more about how it's gonna feel than the pain itself.
mm,
So once you can get past that and you no longer worry about that, it's easier to go about it. And as you start seeing like you are capable, you are worth it, you have all the answers. Now it's a matter of just persevering, right?
mm. Okay. No, I definitely I relate so much and am very excited to know, simply know that this is now available for people, right? Because
Mhm.
again, although this is not top secret information that only X people know, this is information that is out there that most people don't take the time to look for it, but is definitely out there, and we're making it just more available for people. And the way is put down on this journal is just a unique way of looking at the information that's also out there. And so I do really do enjoy the fact that you put many people's names and quotes in this journal to prove that point, right? That what's in here, it comes from many cultures. We all share this information in many different ways, in variety of stories and lessons and things in this nature. But here is just another simple way to look at it and really apply it into our lives. So I'm definitely excited for the continued practice of this. Let me see. Going on to the next one. So the next page here it says, "What activities help me relax and de-stress?" As far as for self care. Oh wait, no, that's no. I skipped 2 pages. Sorry. How can I prioritize self care in my daily life? These questions are very open ended, and like you said, they're meant to be write something done now, but that's not the all end all be all. This is where I'm at right now, and the point is to write it down so I can come back later and see how I can adjust through time, experiences, whatever it is that happens to us, right? um
Yeah,
for
because if like you said, if you just had 15 minutes, you're not
Mhm.
going to be able to sit on every question, right?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of come up with what comes to your mind first, write it down, and then when you have another 15 or 30 minutes, you can go back and go over it. Be like, I'm sure you're since you've thought of it, then it will still kind of resonate in the mind. So you'll have more stuff to add. You might take stuff out.
Yeah.
But that again, that's the beauty of it because you're switching your mindset. What you're focusing on now is changing, right?
Yeah.
You can control what you put in this journal and how you think and feel about it.
Mm.
What happened at work, what your girlfriend did, you don't control those things.
Mm.
So again, it's just taking that attention away to look at you because you are the main character in this movie, in this play, in this story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why not take the time and get to know that main character and play the fuck out that character and be the Oscar, Emmy Award winner, however you want to look at it,
Yeah.
because it's all there. The possibilities are infinite. It's
Mm.
just, are you willing to understand it's all a show? It's a game. Play it.
Yeah.
We can't be afraid of all these aspects of society. That's what makes us shrink. That's what allows us to sell ourselves short for the fear of not meeting someone's expectations, let
Mm.
alone ourselves. Where in reality, there's no expectations to ever meet. It's just for you to be you and do the best that you can at it. That is it.
Mm.
We're not here to get everybody's approval. The only approval you need is your own. That is it.
It's a in today's world. It feels like that. It's a hard ask where everything is measured by. In my right in my personal opinion, I feel like in today's society, everything's measured by other people's opinions through and I believe it really kicked off with the technology boom as far as having phones in our hands 24/7, the social media apps of well, if you have x amount of hearts, if enough people click on this digital heart, then you means that you're somebody. People are going to give you money, people are going to give you free things, people are going to recognize you. You have that quote unquote validation from the outside world, and that has become more valuable than the self validation, right? The way people see me became more now become is more important than the way I see me, I think of me. The way people see me and think of me now becomes the way I see me and think of me, when in reality, the way we think of ourselves and treat ourselves is how others will see us and treat ourselves, or treat us, see us and treat us. So I definitely understand that. Baby Angel, how you doing? Welcome in. Thanks for tuning in to Elevated Wisdom. We are going over the Journey Inward, the latest book by Ahmad Jermaine.
Journal,
Journal. I
the
keep
latest
saying
journal.
book. Thank you. The latest journal. Mango Bear. I crashed. I'm back. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mango Bear. Um. So yeah, and the the idea of self validation is or can be challenging for most of us, but with this practice and this journal, I feel like it can be a little easier because I'm actively writing it down, all everything that continues to promote a healthy experience and validate that experience on why is it important to understand that it comes from within me, that I should celebrate me and my work on a healthy level. Nah, now that's a good question for you. Where what is there a line between like arrogance and believing in yourself, and what is that line, right? Like knowing you're capable versus the unhealthy aspect of
Well,
knowing you're
uh,
capable.
again, if you know yourself and you know you're capable and you're confident, I could say confident, but if somebody gets rubbed the wrong way, or if I display a little more confidence than they do,
Mm.
they could come off and say, "Oh, you're cocky," or "Oh,
Mm.
you're this person. You think you're better than someone."
Okay, lazy but mid.
And if I didn't, if I never said that, and I'm not being that way, and I know I didn't mean that,
Mm.
sounds like that problem is somebody else's. It's not mine. So to me, that's a question that will never really, I'll never have to answer that
Mm.
because I'm not being that way. So however somebody receives me, that's on them. I can't control or change that, and I can't worry about that.
Mm.
If they think I'm cocky, I'll be cocky. If they think I'm confident, I'm confident. But at the end of the day, whatever they say or think, it's not going to hold any weight for me
Mm.
because I'm the star of the show. They're just what are those people that come in the stand-ins, the little actors that might have like 5 minutes, say one line,
Uh.
and they go like that's how you gotta see it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
this experience
Villains
is
or whatever.
fully about you, and we need to
Mm.
start embracing that and stop giving things and situations and people all our power and attention that takes away from us.
Mm. It
It
definitely
it, it
does.
really does because we get caught up in a world in a reality that truly isn't real.
Mm.
You know, W- we're held victims to somebody else's thought process or approval. Like, does that make any sense when you really say it out loud?
It
You know,
doesn't.
what you drive, does that make you somebody because you drive something, even though that other person, nobody, the reality is everybody's their main character in their story.
Mm.
So if we're all in our lanes focused on us and we're all doing good things for us, that means we'll all have that self-awareness, that self-respect, and that willingness to respect others, that willingness to connect with others on a mutual open-hearted level
Mm.
because we're not coming in it with inadequacies. We're not coming in it feeling less than.
Mm.
Most of us have been through it. I myself, when I felt a certain way, or I was intimidated by something, or someone possessed something that I thought I was lacking,
Mm.
then I would project at particular times. Or I might say, oh, I don't really like that motherfucker. I don't care for how they act.
Mm.
They think they got it together. When in reality, they do have it together in such an aspect that it's offending me. Because now my ego is touched. I'm like, oh, but it's more of envy because I'm not at the level that that person is, and I know I want to be.
Mm.
But instead of getting like that, we need to be saying, "Dang, congratulations, man! How did you get there?" And I am striving to be that way too. What steps did you take?
Mm.
But we don't do that. We get angry and upset at somebody that has nothing to do, but it's all internally us.
Mm.
And we need to start appreciating those people that come in our lives because everybody that comes in is to show us something about ourselves,
Mm,
something we need to work on, something we could get better at, something we've been hiding. Every person you meet is going to show you something about you. We are all reflections of each other.
mm,
And that is the key. It doing the journal will bring awareness to that, will give you discernment, will allow you to work out those thoughts and better understand what thoughts bring on certain emotions.
mm,
And those emotions usually lead to our reactions. And that's where a lot of us will end up getting in trouble because we're reacting more than understanding what we're doing. We're just reacting. And that means if we're just reacting, we're not thinking.
mm,
And that's a recipe for disaster, no matter what you do, where you're at, who you are, right? So,
mm. I
so that's a
do.
key. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I really do. I do connect with that. I was gonna ask in between while you were speaking about, how did you, but basically, and you answered it, but how did you were able to disconnect from this idea that what others thought of you didn't define who you were and how to respond healthy. Now, you explained that within that there is a lot of self acknowledgement, right? And in the sense of, I know the truth, people know their own truth. If somebody's going around saying you're lying and you know that you either a lied or have lied before, portion of that, part of your disgust of why that person is going out there saying that you're lying, because part of it's like there's truth behind it, and it's like, shit, now why are you telling people? Now people, it messes you up. So it's not that they're out there saying it, it's that it's disclosing something. Because if you know you're a truthful person, when somebody calls you a liar, it's untrue. You know the fact that you're lying, so it will not bother you, right? and,
Should
and
never bother you. Yeah.
right, exactly. And or for some is appearance. You look this. You're fat. You whatever. Or you got a mole on your this, or your hair looks like that, or whatever it may be. That's another. Our physical appearance can be another subject that is hit by or determined by other people's opinions, and where we're affected when we are truly happy within ourselves and truly take that journey inward and take care of ourselves, there is no room for getting to that level of unhealthiness. And even if you're healthy and just bigger set, you're not going to feel any sort of way towards a negative comment, because you know you're still capable. Although you may have thicker thighs, but you're out there, doing the Olympics. You may have a bigger back, but you're out here, working on a farm and producing for families all around the nation. Or, there is definitely makes or gives us a validation, the fact of we are enough of who we are, whatever it is that it is. And I can definitely appreciate that. Although hard, difficult, let's say, difficult to not allow other people's opinions and perspectives to dictate your emotional response and overall thought pattern will not affect your or your actions to create a bad experience. And that's what you mean by not letting people get in your head. People call you this and you know you're not, whatever. You want to believe that about me? Okay, believe that about me. I don't matter, because I know what I am. I am in full belief and trust in me, and I know I do good. My intentions are good, and that is enough for me. I really do. I appreciate that, and I can see where this journal can assist in practicing that, because it's one thing to say it; it's another thing to write it down and actually going in there, taking the time, right? Writing it
Mm.
down gives that extra step of validation. This is why I love this physical form, this actual purchasing the book, having this on me, having to open it up, having to write it. That is the practice of intention. That is what's gonna later on, I'm not gonna feel some type of way. I'm not gonna think, oh, it takes so long, I don't want to have to flip the pages, I don't want to have to carry it, I don't want to. It's just gonna be part of breathing. Oh, do I have my book with me? Boom, check, throwing it in my bag, throwing it into this or whatever. And know that this is now a physical tool to assist me in achieving what I want to achieve personally in my life. And having it, the practice of writing it, for me, practicing of writing it 3 times, it gets it embedded into my brain like another thing. So eat healthy, eat this, I write that 3 times. And for me, that truly helps. And the fact that you put in here in almost all the pages enough room to write is absolutely awesome. Because again, like you were saying, you can write, you can make little bullet points, you can make little paragraphs, but you have enough space to write. And then if you run out of space here, I'm more entitled to get a journal now or get like a little spiral and start writing it there. And this is definitely a great place to start in that sense. Lizzie28, appreciate you coming in, checking out the TikTok live. The Connie Cryptic on the Kick side. Thank you guys. We are having a conversation with Ahmad Jermaine on this amazing new journal, The Journey Inward. This is a truly a amazing tool
The
that
Journal of Self Exploration.
a journal of self exploration. It, just in itself, the title, it gets the message of what you're about to get into, right? And like Ahmad said earlier in the conversation, that the one requirement, the most important requirement at the beginning, is the understanding of what you're about to get into and setting forth the intention of, am I ready to do this? Because this is work. This is, would you call it hard work, Ahmad? What kind of work would you, how would you describe this work?
I would say, in my opinion, be necessary work. Right?
Mm,
Jim Rohn said, the best thing to invest in is who or what? Yourself.
myself.
And that is what you're doing. You're investing time to be aware of who you are, what you want, what do you stand for?
Hmm.
What does self-care look like? Am I emotionally okay? What goals do I have? And because for me, my bucket list, I thought I hadn't done half of it.
Mm,
But as I started writing stuff down, I was like, dang, I have accomplished a lot of things on my bucket list, and I didn't even realize it because I'm focusing on what I haven't done, not
mm,
looking at what I have done.
yeah.
Um, so that's an important aspect of all this is the book just points out things that we are good at that we take for granted, things we do struggle with, things that we thought we struggled with, but we're actually okay with it.
Mm,
Things we weren't aware of, things that we knew, but it just kind of focuses the camera to allow us now to better see ourselves. And from there, we see ourselves. Now we have to now understand ourselves, right? We have to understand the thoughts we have and the emotions that come with it. Because the next phase is looking at how we react.
mm,
And once we have those three down, now we can actually apply discernment in how we choose to interact with the world,
mm,
what we choose to subscribe to, who we want to be around and not around. And none of that is being egotistical or it's just being aware of I need to put myself around people that are positive. I would like to be positive. I would want to be in an environment that people support my goals. I would like to be with people that have similar bucket list ideas that I want to do. Maybe we could go together and connect and create a whole new experience. It's all there, it's all waiting for us, but we're so stuck on all these distractions and all these rules and things that we believe we have to be for society. All these masks we're supposed to wear, all these people we're supposed to pretend to be.
Mm.
We don't have to. We just have to authentically be me and love it and embrace it and keep moving forward, man. And that's the goal, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to be circus clowns or dancing monkeys. We're here to better understand ourselves, enjoy, love who we are,
Mm.
and be of some form of service to humanity. But you can't do any of those things until you are aware of who you are, until you accept who you are,
Mm.
till you will love and appreciate and respect who you are. Because now I can teach the world how to love and appreciate and respect me.
Mm.
But I can't tell anybody how to do that or expect anybody to do that if I can't do it for me.
Very true. And that is why I always speak with my experiences, even when I asked, like, even if I'm asked for advice or suggestions on how to do certain things, I always,
Mhm.
my goal is to describe my experience with it and then allow the person or people to choose if that's how they want to do it. Because just because it worked for me, I can give you step by step, unless it's a mechanical thing, right? Unless it's step by step. My experience from your experience is gonna look completely different. And just because it worked for me, don't mean exactly it's gonna work for you. But the idea of working, the idea of taking the steps and actually with the intention for better or healthy is going to get us all to that goal of better and healthy. And it may not and it does not have to look exactly the same as everybody. And this is why I truly love our conversations for that particular reason. We demonstrate how differently we can say certain things to achieve the same goal because we each reaching a different type of demographic of people, of how they think, how they speak, how they view things, how they want to choose to see things and things like that. And this is how we can all speak. This is how we can all communicate without having to feel like you're, Ahmad thinks this is better than me. Oh, he's no, he's correcting me. Oh no, he's da 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 da. Like instead of putting on all this, we can all truly communicate in a healthy, calm manner to ensure we all understand what is happening and achieve a greater goal. But instead, we have learned to allow our emotions to burst out and use this unnecessary language that truly doesn't describe much other than anger, like curse words, right? And we're sitting here, and rather than saying I feel this, we say go fuck yourself. Instead of saying I am hurting, we say you did this, right? And it just creates this unhealthy environment that doesn't lead to anywhere but more of the negativity that is already there in that. And again, learning about ourselves, learning about myself was the reason why I was able to get to this level of healthy communication. And working through this journal is going to help me now through these challenges that I have in my life, because even me as an author, as well as somebody who continues to work through therapy and all these other things, I still find challenges in my personal life, right? I will still struggle with certain things, thought patterns and actions that I find challenging. And that is why now I surround myself with people like Ahmad, where he is in his healing journey, and now I can obtain that same energy when I'm lacking it, and vice versa. I can have quicker access to tools that are going to achieve that lifestyle for me. And if I have questions, if I'm having difficulties, I can have a healthy conversation and say, "Hey, I need help. This is what I'm having challenges with. This is my desired goal. This is what I'm willing to do. This is how much time I'm willing to put in there. Can you help me?" How many of us truly ask for help like this with details like this to allow other people? Go ahead.
But also, when you ask for help, like anything else in life, in most cases, we created the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, we will always be the solution.
Mm.
So, with someone helping, they can't fix that problem. They are there for support.
Mm-hmm.
So, the accountability is still on you.
Mm-hmm.
You are responsible to get through that.
Yeah.
So, I'm saying this because the expectations of feeling better fall on you. Does not fall on the person helping because they'll
Mm-hmm.
never be able to help. They can assist you, they can support you, but they will not be able to fix it.
Yeah.
So as long as you're aware that they can't fix it, the expectation, which in my opinion, just don't have one. Just work through the process. Because if it doesn't go how you expected it, now you're going to be disappointed and it's going to take you further back. Where if you just are open to the experience, have no expectation. I'm just willing to try. And I'm grateful this person is going to help me and see how much better it's going to go. I promise. And that's helped me by just letting go of the expectation of what I think or believe it's supposed to look like, feel, and do for me.
Mm.
Throw that shit out the window, put it in the bucket, and move forward to just say, I'm open and ready for this opportunity, this experience.
Mm.
I
I
don't know
like
what
that.
it's gonna be like, but I'm ready.
Yeah.
I am ready.
I used to have a challenging time with that. Going into situations
I
without expectation. That is a difficult thing. But with like anything else, right? Like golf, putting a little ball into that hole miles away, not miles, but yards away or whatever, seems
Mhm.
impossible. But once you practice it, you learn the skills that it requires to do it. It's possible. And this is it, man. Speaking about it, being involved, surrounding yourself with people to keep you accountable, to speak in the similar language that you want to be around is important for all of this to give you all the tools that we need to work on ourselves. See, having people around me where I can look for and see that they're constantly working on themselves is a great reminder that to stop looking at them and continue to look at myself and work on myself, because the only thing I can do for you is work on myself, and the only thing you can do for me is work on yourself. And if
One of the greatest quotes ever out there.
right, say, I love that, I love it. And if we truly do this, we are a prime example of the proof is in the pudding, if you would like to call it, right? How our lives continue to change. And there are many people in our lives that have different perspectives of how we're doing it, the results that we're having, all these different things. But the fact of the matter is, we're actively doing, and there are huge differences in our lives. Like you said, we are crushing goals, we are achieving dreams. We are knocking out bucket list after bucket list after bucket list. because we're choosing to do it now. And that looks different, feels different, smells different, tastes different, all of it, all of the above. And I'm very, very honored to be here, and I'm very thankful to have you and call you a brother and a friend, and to know that we have this available to us now, and the links are all here. Elevated Wisdom, Manon Affiliates, Intoxicated DJ. Check us all out. There's links to the books, the other books. We're gonna go through the other books as well. Not tonight, but throughout the process, we'll be continuing talking about the rest of the books as well. So I definitely I'm excited to apply this on this journey, and personally on my streams I will be keeping you guys up to date with that, and make little shorts as well as far as the journey, writing things down and giving an example of how this journal is actually assisting my personal experience now. um, yeah, is there anything else you wanted to hit up on the topic today?
Um, I had something I did, and like anything else, I forgot.
Not, and you know, I'm in a way excited that it's actually happening on live, because this is a great learning opportunity for all of us. Amongst
Yeah.
healthy conversations, you will find that somebody is taking more time than you may want to listen at the time, to explain their train of thoughts, and how to actively listen. That the skills of actively listen looks like the following: one, if you're going to get an information that you know you're going to have to practice, or in a conversation you're going to have to practice these skills, is having the proper tools. So that's why, one, I always have paper and a pen nearby, right? um, if I'm in a conversation and I know that there are gonna be key points that I would want to like interrupt or say, "Oh, think of this," I am gonna write it down as a question or a bullet point. This way, when the person finishes their thought, and I have a situation like this because I have memory issues, right? I can go back and see, okay, I wanted to ask this question, and why was that point? Oh, I wanted to ask him about that point and raise this question. I have all my notes here, so I can go back without interruption and hit every single point that I wanted to hit through their portion or time of speaking, and allows, one, this shortens the amount of interruptions. It allows the speaker to get their entire thought out. Sometimes the speaker answers your question as they continue to talk. So rather than interrupting, if you just wait a little bit, you get your question answered. So with the pen, you can just scratch it out and you know that it's been taken care of. So that, for me, it took a long time. Many, huh? What did you say? Or, I forgot that you told me that. All those things that I used to do constantly to people, to the point where people are like, I'm tired of retelling you. That's what this is how I learn to use these skills. So for me, this is how I practice active listening skills. By any crazy chance, through my rant, did that allow you to remember what you want to talk about?
No, like all the stuff we discussed was good materials, good things. Um,
Mm,
just encouraging people to understand your environment is going to play a role as well. Um,
what do you mean by that?
so if the majority of people around you are negative, it's going to be really hard to be positive, because as you start to be positive, they're going to get annoyed because they know they want to be positive and they're trying to get there, but there's negativity is still weighing them in. Um, if everybody is doing negative things and you no longer want to be a part, that's where you might get, oh, you think you're better than us now, you don't want to do this. Just just 2 months ago, you were the main one dragging us, however they do it.
Mm,
And be like, yeah, but I'm realizing now that's not what I want to do.
mm,
So the environment and understanding that, and as we separate from that environment, actually standing firm
Mm.
on whatever boundary you choose to establish, not allowing somebody to emotionally manipulate you or make you feel guilty for doing what's best for you.
Mm.
You know what's best for you, and clearly that person is not a friend, and clearly well, they could be a friend, but they're just throwing a tantrum because they're not getting their way. Most people, when you start to put that boundary up, that's used to you doing any and everything for them, is now not gonna like it because
Mm.
it's things are changing and it's not changing for them. So just be aware of that and know that you are worth it.
Mm.
You are the star, and don't let anybody else tell you anything otherwise. Uh, this is a new day.
It is.
Today is an amazing day. Today, something amazing will happen to me. Today, something amazing will happen for me.
Mm.
Today is an amazing day. And I start my day that way. And before I go to sleep, I do the same thing.
Mm.
And it just puts me in that mindset that all is well. And something is going to happen that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It could be a phone call from somebody you haven't talked in a while. It could be you're in the store and it's 50% off and you thought it was going to be full price. Whatever it may be,
Mm.
just know that that day is, will be amazing.
I love that.
So,
I really do love that, especially from a person who, like myself, who used to be negative a lot, right? I used to wake up in the morning immediately like, ugh, another day full of pain and people that are gonna annoy me and da 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 da, and like all these thoughts. And then lo and behold, throughout the day, all I could see and feel is the pain. All I could focus on is the people that bothered me. All the, it's like, yeah. And then it's validation. Oh, boy, see, this is why I shouldn't go out. This is why I shouldn't like people. This is why blah 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 blah, right? And it just kept me in the negativity. And then
where
amazing to my
attention
amazingly to my surprise,
attention goes, energy flows.
exactly, I changed that energy and the energy flowed to a different direction.
What's amazing is we get what we ask for. The
Hmm.
universe never says no.
Yeah.
Think about it. Get a pen and paper and go back through your life at certain things you really asked for, things you really wanted, things you really didn't want, but you focused all your attention on it.
Hmm.
And you'll see throughout your life, you have gotten almost everything you asked for. Whether it was negative or positive,
Hmm.
you got it. Because the universe will not say no. Whatever you put the attention on, whatever you focus on, whatever it is you have all the energy invested in, you're going to get it.
Yeah. And another important lesson in that for me was, just because I say I don't want something doesn't mean that my actions, thought patterns, and reactions isn't going towards that thing that I quote unquote saying I don't want. Right? I love the people that say, "Oh, I hate drama. I'm not about drama." But literally all they do, all they surround themselves is drama. But that's what they're saying, that they hate it and that they're not about it, and then it is that they're putting it out to the world. But the fact is that everything they're doing, everything is to get themselves into more, maintain themselves in drama. So I definitely, I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate the importance of speaking positivity into our lives, but also ensuring and being aware where our thoughts, our emotions, and our actual physical actions are doing to maintain that idea, right? And understanding, is it really not what I want? Or low key, that's
Mhm.
what I want, and that way I can feel like the victim. That way I can feel like the this or whatever. and I'm doing everything to get what I quote unquote say I don't want. I can appreciate that, and so keeping our thoughts positive, keeping our thoughts in the right energy is important to creating the life that we desire. And again, that's another valuable lesson in this journal here that I am excited to go through. And with that, we spend another beautiful hour with you beautiful souls out there in this world. Spend another hour one here again for my self care, like I wrote in this book, and I'm going to write this now here as well. Another thing that I do for my self care is this podcast. I come here and we speak about real life things, and that assists me in maintaining a healthy lifestyle. It allows me to communicate, practice this communication, healthy skills, and keeping in a topic of healing because that is what I need in my life. And so I'm very appreciative of this hour every single week. Normally we do it on Fridays. The only reason this way, and the only reasons we don't have it on Fridays is for specific reasons like this one. We celebrated another year of having this amazing soul, Ahmad Jermaine, in our lives. And he took some time for himself, and so we reschedule it for today. But Fridays afternoons from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time, we will be holding this, and in advance we will let you know if anything happens, like the storm outage, power outage that we've had. We'll reschedule it as well. But we always find at least an hour a week to sit down, have a healthy conversation about real life topics where we discuss our opinions, perspectives, and methods to assist us through these things. And we highly encourage all of you guys to participate in either asking questions, comments, any of the following. And if there is assistance that you may require or looking for, feel free to ask. It never hurts to ask. If we don't know the answer, we don't have those tools per se, we can possibly put you on the right direction. Uh, Elevated Wisdom on YouTube has I'm sorry, Manan Affiliates on YouTube is an amazing channel for
Yes,
daily
YouTube.
dosages of positivity. Ahmad Jermaine continues to do an amazing job on that channel. So if that's what you need for your daily dosage of positivity in your life, check out the channel, subscribe, and really enjoy the messages.
We, I do, I did put together the elevated wisdom on the TikTok.
Nice. So now we have Elevated Wisdom on TikTok, which also be featuring positive videos, the introspective videos that really puts food for thought. And so if that is something that you're looking for, I highly recommend you check us out and drop us a line. Let us know what you think in the comments. If there's something in particular that you would like to see or think about or have questions about, again, don't be afraid to leave them in the comments. We'll get to you, and we'll sit there and have a healthy conversation to understand what it is that you're asking and provide the best answers that we have. On that note, again, thank you all for being here. Let my brother Ahmad Jermaine take us out with the 3 L's because that is a great way to live. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so before we roll, I hope everybody has had a wonderful Sunday and continue to live the 3 L's. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.
Let's go. Appreciate you. Much love, man. I'll see you guys later. We're out of here.
Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.